Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Play to Earn channel. I'm your host, Nico, and today we have a very special guest. We have Ryan joining us from the Guild of Guardian team. Hello, Ryan. Welcome. How are you doing?
Hi, Nico. Thanks for having me. I appreciate you inviting me on.
Cool. No, it's great to have you. We've been waiting to have someone from your team for quite some time now. We're following the project very closely, and I know our community members are following as well. And well, recently we have some you guys released some major news with the release of your alpha versions. And a lot of exciting things coming up for your project. So maybe let's just start because some people might be new to the play to earn space, NFT gaming space. Just with a general intro about the project, about Guild of Guardians, what it is, what to expect.
Yeah, sure. Thanks for that great introduction. It's really it's awesome to hear that your community is very excited following our game. It really inspires us to take our project to the next level. So at the high level, Guild of Guardians is an action team RPG where players form a squad of a maximum of 4 heroes, and they pretty much bring them into these dungeons. So it's kind of, I'd suggest like a game like maybe Diablo is something that you could really compare ourselves to. Obviously not to the same scale yet, but in terms of how the gameplay would feel like. And the core loop is you bring these heroes, you strategize about different synergies, what items to equip them with, and you decide what hero is best against what enemy and what boss. And you pretty much just get rewards and level up through that. And it's mobile only at the moment.
Mobile only, yes. Okay, so an action RPG. Well, you said the word Diablo, and for all of us a bit older in the audience, definitely talk to us. We spend countless hours clicking and killing monsters in Diablo. Let's have a quick look at the cinematic trailer because I think it looks really cool. It's been out for quite a while, but it looks really cool. And just to put ourselves in the atmosphere.
Sounds good.
Yeah, that looks really cool. Dungeons, skeletons, heroes. Yeah, it looks really rad. And that was the trailer to announce your founders NFT sales. So this took place, I think, back in October last year or something like this.
It was a bit early at the start of last year, but it's been quite a long time since then.
Yeah,
we came a long way.
And I know that in our Discord community, like as soon, even before the sale, I think they're already strategizing and talking about, okay, let's build a guild, let's get these heroes together, having their favorites. So I think you guys got quite a strong community for the
100%
for a while already. So yeah, I know people are excited. And the NFT sales were a huge success. We even saw some NFTs on the secondary market go for very, very impressive price. So at the moment, they're available on the Immutable X marketplace, right? On the secondary.
So Immutable X marketplace or on Token Trove.
Yeah. So tell us. So the game, it's a mobile game, and from what I understand, it's free to play. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, so free-to-play model. So what's the advantages then for those heroes NFT holders? Why would I want to get our hero?
So great question. So at its core, Guild Guardians is a free-to-play mobile RPG, like we previously stated. And the idea behind that is pretty much people can log in without even knowing anything about blockchain, just like it's like any other regular mobile game. And the idea behind that is, if we really want to onboard the masses, you're going to have to reduce the amount of friction as much as possible, right? So it only made sense from our point of view to really try and bring in as big of a player base as you can without, the pay to play type of model, where maybe in similar games like Axie Infinity, where you just pay hundreds in some situations of like $1,000, $2,000 to actually get a kind of a team. So in terms of what advantages does it have to be an NFT holder, pretty much players, they'll have access to hero NFTs that are rare, epic, and legendary. And the idea is that they're stronger than the base hero that you would get if you were to play the game for free, which means you pretty much just progress faster at the beginning. But there are things that won't be sold, so the equipment in the game. So these won't be sold, and the only way for players to actually receive these items is going to be going through playing the game, crafting them, and trading them. So basically, the idea for that is we want to incentivize a player-driven economy. So, and there are also other things that we offer for NFTs, such as pets and guild tokens. But the main idea of having NFTs to our community is, besides just giving them a chance to kind of get hold of assets that are going to give them a bit of advantage at the start of the game, it's also their way of trying to support the project. Because some people in our community, they've been around for, like 6 months, 8 months, some people over a year. And the idea behind that is like, we want to reward people for being part of our community when they came in. So part of this is the founder NFTs. So these founder NFTs that were given in these different waves of sales, they aren't ever going to be ever sold again. So basically, if you're a part of a community and you have a founder NFT, you definitely have something that's extremely rare for the years ahead.
Okay, we can see there is like the previews are not loading, but there is like some mythic heroes that goes for 35 ETH still on the marketplace. So
Yeah.
I guess you might have some early adopters that might be super happy and loving to have those in their wallets. So yeah. So I like the approach of free to play, and what you said is very important about onboarding people who probably don't know nothing about blockchain, or a bit sometimes afraid about blockchain gaming or
Exactly.
NFT gaming. As you said, they're afraid, I need to invest, I need to buy like for hundreds of dollars of assets, and I cannot even play the game to try it out. So I think this approach, we see it more and more, the free-to-play approach. And I think it's definitely a good one if we want mass adoption, if we don't want just to keep this space, secluded into the crypto degens community.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
So yeah, that's great what you guys are doing, and at the same time you're delivering a AAA quality game, because a lot of games that we see at the moment, the quality is not there and it's expensive to get into. So
exactly,
what I compare it more to is more like, it's disguised decentralized finance. So but we see more and more projects like yours, like Guild of Guardians, going this way, of free to play model and still be able to play to earn. So let's cut to the chase and let's talk about the big news that dropped recently. Like you guys are soon launching the alpha version of the game.
Yeah, so just to tweak that a bit, basically it's the pre-alpha demo. So recently we had a rebranding of what our different timelines is. So recently what we just had is the pre-alpha demo. So then the actual alpha is going to be on testnet, which is going to be coming in, I believe, the second half of this year. And then we have the open beta, which is going to be on the mainnet in the first half of 2023, with a full release of the game in the second half of 2023.
Okay, cool. So this will be a pre-alpha demo on testnet. So nothing, it's just to have a feel for the game, I imagine, for you guys to get feedback from the community as well.
Yeah, so this version of the game, it won't have any blockchain integration at all. But in the testnet in public version, in the second half of the year, that's going to have tokens and assets, but they're not going to actually be of real world value yet. It's pretty much, as the name suggests, testnet. And the reason for that is basically we want to gain feedback of how we can really run our economies and develop it more. So that's pretty much the base idea for that.
Okay, cool.
And for our pre-alpha, sorry, to add on to that, the pre-alpha demo, we recently had a snapshot, I think about a month or two ago now, where basically if any holder of the GOG NFT, if they were to register for the pre-alpha registration, they automatically were to qualify. So this is our way of really trying to show the community that we value their support. And yeah, so we recently closed our entries recently, and anyone who didn't have a GOG NFT, they pretty much get entered into a lottery, and then we're gonna select a few lucky individuals to be a part of the pre-alpha demo experience.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I just show some of the pre-alpha gameplay that was released way back. I think almost more than 6 months ago, and I just saw on your Twitter account that we got some new alpha gameplay that just dropped. So that looks pretty nice, as you can see, and we can see the progress that the team has made since over the last few months. So I know a lot of people will be excited to get their hands on that.
So this footage was taken straight raw from just one of our team members just playing on the game. A lot of games, especially in the Web3 space, is quite different, where you actually want the community to see what you're building as you go, especially when people are actually putting in money and we're trying to build up a community. It's extremely important for us to really show the people what we're building on a constant basis. So if you go into our Discord channel, we have a leak section, and you can see we actually post clips like this, 3-5 times a week, which is, it's not really exactly too common in this space yet, because the truth is, like, a lot of teams are still building, and it's kind of hard to show something that you don't have yet. So this is our way of showing the community, this is what we're building. We're transparent. Things are not obviously polished to the point where we're happy with yet, but you can see the progress we're making. And I believe that's super important in having a community that's going to back you and understand the vision that you're trying to have on the industry.
Yeah, definitely to be open about the development, especially with people who were early investors as well, as they purchase either the tokens or NFTs. I think that's quite important. Sometimes I can imagine it can be tricky, because we can see in a lot of Discord server, everybody is a gaming expert. And whenever you release something, they will have something to complain about or say, oh, you should have done this like this or this or this. But so it's probably not easy to manage. So it's great to be open to the community and release those things, especially if, like, quality games take time to be developed. So
100%.
just to keep the communities involved and looking forward to the project. Okay, so you told me, so pre-alpha coming, demo coming very, very soon, alpha testnet coming second half of the year, and then open beta early 2023. That's correct?
So
just to sum
first half of 2023, and our full launch is for the second half of 2023. And just to add on to that slightly, we recently had a rebrand in our timelines, and the idea behind that is we feel like a lot of projects in the crypto space, as well as the gaming space, they sometimes tend to give out timelines that are not always realistic. And obviously, for reasons such as making a game a truly immersive AAA game, it's not easy, and things can happen. And second of all, when you're working with blockchain technology, you're integrating with immutable X and layer 2 solutions. We're working with technology that's never really been trialed and tested to the like that much yet, where we're still trying to learn as we go. So we understand this. So the idea we have between our timelines is we set something that we're confident that we can hit, rather than something where we're really going to be, I wouldn't say, it's still relatively, obviously requires hard work on our end to hit these timelines, but the idea is we set things that are more realistic than, let's say, other projects that may set more misleading or not realistic timelines.
Yeah, no, definitely. Quality game development takes time, and the community and people should understand that. And we've seen some projects trying to rush out a release because they're committed to it, and you end up with something disappointing and won't help the project in the long run. So definitely the right approach. And if you can keep the community engaged, like releasing an alpha, releasing a beta, and being open in your communications, I think that's the way to go. And then finally being able to deliver quality game, quality products. That's
100%
for everyone. Yeah, really cool. So let's talk more about in general, you touched on this a bit earlier. We got this new narrative in the ecosystem, which is the play and earn against play to earn. So of course we are the play to earn channel, but we see more and more of a play and earn. From our perspective, what we see is at the beginning of the play to earn NFT gaming, people came in just to make money. Okay. Because the quality games are not here yet. Now we see more and more quality games. So you'll play, and so you play to earn, but not only to earn, you'll play and you will get a reward. And I think that's what the original idea was. We just got a bit, I think the crypto community in general has a tendency to go a bit too fast, as you said it earlier, releasing products. So we went a bit too fast, and we saw like some insane gains and some early games like Axie at the beginning, or we saw it with Pegaxi and other games like that. But now I think the market is maturing a little bit, and we have more and more big studios, big projects coming in, and this new narrative of play and earn. Can you tell us a bit your vision on that?
Oh yeah. So this is honestly what I'm passionate, like insights into, or like ideas, topics in this space. And so yeah, recently, so Guild of Guardians, we actually coined the term play and earn probably like for almost a year now. And before any other games kind of did it. And Axie was play to earn. Many other games also play to earn, and no one really. And recently, there's actually been discussions more that I see that people discussing, hey, play and earn might be the future. So a lot of people who are not familiar with this concept is like, what's changing? What's the difference between play to earn, and what's the difference between play and earn when there's only like one? Like what exactly is changing? The idea is play to earn. It kind of implies that gaming or NFT gaming per se, it should be to earn money, or it's kind of grindy in nature. Where play and earn, it kind of encompasses the two together. And Guild Guardian's vision is that NFT games, they should be like traditional games, except it's only enhanced with blockchain technology. So I feel like with the play and earn type of movement, we're trying to go away from that idea that people need to become rich from NFT games, from playing them, or they have to replace it with their job. The idea behind that is like, obviously, if we could give everyone in the game, $100,000 salary every year. But the reason why it can't happen, and like you've seen with Axie Infinity and Pegaxi, is these economies, they're not actually sustainable. And the reason why this is impossible is because when you have a situation where there's more extraction from an economy rather than people actually putting in value into an economy, that's when games, they can't sustain themselves. So if you have an economy and there's people only extracting value, trying to earn every single day, the economy kind of topples over, right? So the idea of these next generation games is you need people who are going to spend in the game. And number two, you need things inside the game where people want to spend without people wanting a return on investment on that. So what that means is that, like traditional games, so that concept right now in NFT gaming, people are like, wait, why would people pay money when they can't get a return? Well, think about traditional gaming. People pay hundreds and thousands of dollars every year, and they literally don't get a cent back, right? And the only way people are going to actually spend money without wanting a return is if the game is really good. So I think that's what the industry is missing at the moment. We don't really have a game out there yet where, it can really match the mainstream type of audience where people actually want to come and spend the money and have fun. So I think that's one of the big shifts of play to earn from play and earn. And I think as the space is maturing, in 2-3 years from now, you're going to actually see studios, not just Immutable, but other great titles that are launching. And I think you're going to really see how players from the mainstream are going to understand that, just like how you buy something in real life, like if you any item you purchase, you feel like you own that item. Like if you want to sell that, you could do it after. But the idea is, the video game industry, it's been like this for so long, where people are conditioned to feel like, no, like it's actually completely normal. If you purchase something, it goes towards the centralized entity or the gaming company. So I think this is going to really spark a revolution once people understand, hey, there are actually good games in this space. It's not a scam. It's not a Ponzi scheme. And this way, when I'm actually spending my money, not only do I have potential to earn, but I actually own these assets. So I think that's where we're headed to in the next few years.
Yeah, yeah, I think so as well, and that will, a lot of the critics we have about NFT gaming is, as you said, it's expensive to get into. You guys offer a free to play model, and the games are bad, and of course, in the first year, like it takes time, as we said many times now, it takes time to develop a quality game, so it takes time, and those games are coming. We saw, I don't know if you're familiar with the project Phantom Galaxies. We did a video preview of this game a month ago, and the game, it's an alpha version. The game is amazing to play. It's a great
Hmm.
game to play, and it's free. You just had to sign up to get the access pass NFT. You can get it for very cheap, for $15, I think, on the secondary market. We still had some people in the comments telling, "Oh yeah, no, it's NFT game. I don't want to touch it." It's weird, and the only NFT part in it right now is to get the access because it's an early alpha. But the gameplay is amazing. It's AAA quality game. So
Just
I
to
think,
comment. Hmm.
yeah,
Sorry, go on.
no, I think
Yeah.
we're seeing more and more, yeah, games like this, and especially this year,
Mm.
we are seeing, yeah, some alpha and beta version dropping. Um, that I think
Mm.
people will not even realize that they're playing a blockchain game or an NFT game.
100%. That's where the future is going to lie, where people are going to be interacting with not only in gaming. Gaming is the first vertical where it's going to really take off, because the thing is, gaming is very universal. But soon, I actually believe on a more personal level that things are going to really take off in other industries as well, because NFTs, the utility is a lot more than people kind of realize. So in 2021, we had the luxury NFT market, which is, you see the Bored Apes collection. So I feel like a big friction between us and mainstream is, if people want to get involved into an NFT, let's say like a profile picture collection, they can't, because like the floor prices are like $50,000 to $100,000. And then you got the layer one gas fees on Ethereum. Like for the average user from mainstream, it's quite a daunting experience, and it's quite costly as well. But what gaming brings to the equation is that when we have free to play NFT games, or when the transactions, instead of being a $50,000, $100,000 Bored Ape, it becomes like a $2 item, a $1 item, 50-cent item. That's when you're going to really start seeing mass adoption. So you also touched on the fact that the barriers in the space that we have right now is the games are not good. There are also other few things like the friction of actually getting a wallet, sending your tokens around. But this is something that Immutable is working on. So when we get that on fiat onboarding, that's going to help a lot. The layer two gas fees, eliminating those, which is obviously something we're successfully doing, but we're still continuing to develop that. Environmental concerns, well, that's another big thing people really try to talk about, but we're built on Ethereum, and then Immutable X is a carbon neutral scaling solution. So it's actually not damaging the environment. And then Ethereum is going to eventually move to proof of stake. Obviously, we don't know when that's going to happen, but when that happens, it's going to dramatically reduce the amount of power that it takes from proof of work. But yeah.
Yeah, and the choice of Immutable, like we see, they're attracting more and more teams, more and more projects. As you said, many benefits. You got the security of Ethereum, but the low gas fees, the low environmental impact as well, and soon, as you said, easier on ramp to buy assets with fiat currency. So yeah, those are things that will arrive sometime this year, early next year, and that's, I think, when mass adoption will really arrive with
And
projects like Guild of Guardians and the platforms eliminating friction. I mean, the barrier to entry.
And one last point I want to add is, recently Immutable had a $200 million Series C raise. And then I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but companies like Tencent actually invested in this round. And Tencent is a huge company. They're actually the owner of Riot Games, which means the owner of Valorant, League of Legends, Team Fortress, or just Team Tactics. And so that's like extremely huge news, because like you're pretty much getting like a massive juggernaut in the mainstream actually investing and seeing the vision. So all I can say on this matter, before I keep talking all day because I can, that the idea is that mainstream adoption is coming. It's not going to happen overnight, because it takes time. But Guild of Guardians, we're 100. We can see what's going to happen in a few years from now, and I believe we're still extremely early. And for us or any other project out there, I think believe in what you're building and keep going, because I think the space is really going to mature in the next few years.
Yeah, definitely. All right, let's get back to Guild of Guardians,
Mm-hmm.
and more talk about the game a little bit.
Yeah.
So we talked about play and earn, but of course in play and earn there is still earn. So I know that people will be interested to know
Oh, yeah.
uh, what's. Can you give us maybe a general overview of the game's economy and what can people earn? How can people earn? Is it by completing quests, by leveling up, by selling their items? Can you give us a little overview of the plan?
Yeah, no worries. So before I dive into that, our mantra is like we believe games are more fun with friends. So we want players. So as the name suggests in Guild of Guardians, it's about guilds, right? And the reason we kind of went down this path is because we believe socializing when playing games is much more fun. So we want players working together in the guilds, forming friendships, and having a player-driven economy that incentivizes trading. So kind of like a real world economy. And the only way to really do that is obviously providing a game, providing people also with the community to actually take these on board. So in terms of the earn aspect, the only way to create NFTs, items in this game is from the guilds, which means that crafting, and these materials, they come from drops in dungeons. So players get these drops from the dungeons and they craft it and eventually get sold onto the marketplace. And when they get sold, the profits get redistributed depending on how much someone contributed. So it's obviously equally shared. So basically the idea is, you get a squad of heroes, you go into the dungeon, you level up, you collect the loot, you take the loot back into the guild, and then the guild sells it onto the marketplace and it gets redistributed towards the people who contributed.
Okay,
And
that's great. So there is a big like social aspect to it as well.
100%, yeah.
That's great. That's
Yeah,
great.
and there's also going to be leaderboards where guilds can compete for rewards with other guilds, and these are likely going to be tiered, meaning that you're not going to have situations where a big guild is going to always win the higher rewards versus a smaller guild. So it's kind of really keeping people the morale high because the competitiveness is still there, and yeah, so that's another. So the guild is a big focus of how people are going to earn in this game. But then there's also going to be gems. So gems is our Guild Guardian ERC20 token that's going to be used in the game. Obviously, gems is a much more familiar term that gamers are used to. So that's why we went with the word gems. But the gems in the game is a token, our ERC20 token live called Guild of Guardians. And they'll be distributed on a daily basis to players who play the game. How it's distributed is yet to be determined, but it's likely going to be where people hit certain progression milestones or complete daily quests or any other sort of game activities. So that's going to be another way people can earn in the game.
Okay, so the gem is another token. So you guys are working on a dual token economy as well with the Guild of Guardian token. Yeah, go ahead.
So just to clarify on that, it's a common question we have. So the gems is the exact same as the Guild of Guardian token. So the gem is the Guild of Guardian token. The reason why they have different names is because in the game we want players to be like a term that they're familiar with. We're not going to be calling it like Guild of Guardian token, right? It makes a lot more sense to use the word like gems where players are more familiar with the terminology.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's
the same thing.
Easier for people who are not so familiar with the crypto space. But as you said, you might confuse some people who are already used to dual token economies with a governance token, with an earning token. But okay, so gem is the Guild of Guardian token. Great. And is there any other utility to this token? Do you plan any governance utility or the thing like this for the token holders?
Yep. So the token, as well as it being an in-game currency, it also has governance properties. So token holders, we're yet to hold like our first token vote, but basically anyone who holds the token, they're going to have the right to vote on governance on the project. What these type of governance decisions are is yet to be determined, but basically you have a big say in the matter. We'll also have active staking for the token, which means that players are going to be awarded GOG staking rewards for actively participating in the economy. So what active staking is, instead of like a normal staking where you lock something up and you get passive rewards from it, active staking is where you actually have to kind of interact with the ecosystem. And the idea behind that behind this is that we want to obviously have a game where we actually want players building. We're not like a game where, we incentivize staking and then the economy dies in 3 months because everyone just extracted it. We have not like a 1, 3, 5 year horizon. We have like a decade plus vision on Guild of Guardians. So that's a big reason why we want staking rewards to be players who actually participate. But yeah, so it has governance, staking, which is yet to come. I don't have a date for that. I know a lot of people want a date, but it's something that we're aware that the community really wants, and it's in the pipeline. Is all I can say.
Yeah, that was actually a question we had from our community because the team announced token staking a while back already, and they were asking for an update. So what do you say? It's in the pipeline, but we have no specific date for token staking.
No specific date, no.
But it's coming.
It's coming. It's definitely coming.
If it's not, we get you back, Ryan. We'll get you back.
Oh yeah.
No, okay. So token staking coming soon, and yes, talking about as you said, the play to earn or play and earn the game economies. You guys have a long-term vision. We've seen, and we are seeing many projects, or we've yet to see successful projects in this economy that are able to have a sustainable economy past a year, or maybe Axie is the one that kind of is managing, but probably at this disadvantage of the first mover. How are you guys approaching that? What are you going to bring new systems, what's your plan to keep this economy sustainable, especially if you have such a long-term vision of like 5-10 years?
So I think I touched on this a bit before, but basically the reason why economies are not sustainable right now is because people are extracting a whole lot more than they're actually putting value into an economy. So in an economy, if you have an economy where people are just actually trying to extract as much value as possible, which is what happens from play to earn games, right? Because the only reason people are playing to begin with is just for that yield, that in-game yield. So the idea is for an NFT game to be actually sustainable, you need spenders in the economy and people who are going to be purchasing things in the game without an actual reason to have a return on investment, right? So then this might lead to the question of why would people spend money? Like what value do they get if they don't get money back or whatever, right? But the ideology behind this is the fact that when you look at mainstream games, how much has Fortnite made from skins, right? Something that people can't even sell. They can't really, it brings the player enjoyment, right? So what we believe is that a game that has a fun, immersive, social type of game and economy, that's a game where we can actually stand the test of time. Well, that's the idea, because we're going to have players who are actually playing the game not only to just simply earn, but they actually want to spend in the money. They want to play with their friends, buy things to try and progress to be the best as they can be. So that's the idea. And number two is obviously we do have a game economist on our team. So he's always looking at what's the right ratio where we can give the rewards where it's not going to make our economy really suffer. So there's always, obviously I can't speak too much on the economy side from a really detailed perspective because that'd be his expertise. But the idea is that it's something we're 100% focused on, because like if the game, if we have a long-term vision, the economy dies in 3 to 6 months, well, it's not exactly, it's not going to stand the test of time, of course. But yeah, we have a game economist on our team. He's always actively, daily looking on ways, how can we make this game stand the test of time?
Okay, good to know. So yeah, so by just offering a good game that people enjoy to play, and a competitive game first, and of course studying the game economy. Cool. I don't want to get this interview too long because otherwise people gonna get bored. Just to touch up on a few partnerships, I saw you guys recently had a partnership with the Sandbox. There was like some challenges that were available in the Sandbox. Any other upcoming partnerships, or maybe you can tell us a bit more about this this recent Sandbox challenge that you guys had?
Yeah, so I think the recent Sandbox challenge that you're referring to, it was actually a community-driven project. So something that I haven't really talked too much about on this interview is the fact that we have a very strong community, and a big reason for that is because we like to give our community the platform and allow them to express whatever ideas or events they have. So for this creation of the event, we had a user called Tomahawk in our Discord. He came to our Guardian team, say, hey, I have a really cool idea for a sandbox event. And then we were like, since we're really focused on the community and actually incentivizing people to really help us build, we were like, yeah, sure, like let's work together. We'll give you the official platform, we'll announce it and everything. We also give him like 5,000-10,000 worth of GOG tokens, NFTs, and the event was an overall success. We ran a competition on Twitter where people tweeted, where they put in a picture of their in-game sandbox screenshot. So that got retweeted by the sandbox. And the idea behind that is like, we're trying, instead of just our project, we're kind of actually expanding it to our partners, the sandbox. So we are partners with the sandbox, but as of right now, there hasn't been any further developments on that end, but it's something that we're still in the talks with in the background. It's just, like there's always so many things going on, and it's not always possible to make things happen when we wanted to, but the idea is it's still in the pipeline.
Yeah, okay. Because that was another question from our community. When the partnership with Sandbox was announced, there was question of having Guild of Guardians heroes in the sandbox, potentially airdropped to NFT holders. So that was their question. They were asking an update on that.
That's still the plan, but we just don't have any solid updates on that front at the moment.
Okay, cool. They will be happy to hear that. Anything else you want to tell us? If people want to get involved, what's the best way? Let's say someone is just discovering the project and likes it and wants to get involved. What's the best way to start?
Yeah, I just want to say, thank you for anyone who's listening and has made it this far. I know I can hopefully not ramble too much about things, but the best way to really kind of engage with the GOG community would be through our Discord, which you should be able to find a link on this website, and also our Twitter. We have Kalia. She always makes daily tweets, leaks, information. So that's a great place to stay up to date. But I'd say our Discord is really good as well, because we have a community of over 100,000 members within our Discord, and we have a great moderated team. It's a great community in general. There's been so many countless times where people just came in with questions, and our community was more than happy to help. We honestly had times where people were short on money for something, and then another user who didn't even know them was like, hey, what's your wallet address? I'll send you some over. So we have a very tight-knit community, and it's something that we really strive to make sure that we have top-notch. So if you're new to the NFT space, or you're just curious about the project, feel free to come in, ask any questions, and we're more than happy to help.
That's great. You're right. Having a great community is super important. And guys, follow the project on Twitter. There are some giveaways dropping from time to time, so make sure to follow the project. Join the social medias, Twitter, Discord. Ryan, thank you very much for this preview. We're super happy to have you here, and maybe we'll talk to you after the alpha launch. We'll talk again, and hopefully everything goes well for you guys. But I'm sure our community is waiting to get their hands on the game and start playing.
Yeah, thanks, Nico. I appreciate you having me on, and your community sounds brilliant. If they're like Guild of Guardians, surely they're brilliant, right? But so thanks everyone who came in to listen to this interview. Really appreciate it, and I'm looking forward to seeing how people feel about our first playable experience for the game, and I'm excited to come on again in the future.
Cool. Thank you guys for all listening, and I hope you enjoyed the show today, and see you soon in the metaverse.